Hello friends, welcome back to Silent Money. Have you ever wondered where your money truly goes? Not in a vague, abstract sense, but in a very real, dollar-for-dollar accounting of your hard-earned cash. It is a question that haunts many of us in the quiet hours of the night, a nagging anxiety that whispers just beneath the surface of our busy lives. We are a society of hard workers. We trade our most precious, non-renewable resource, our time, for a paycheck. We pour our energy and expertise into our jobs, day in and day out. And yet when the end of the month arrives, a familiar sense of bewilderment sets in. The numbers on the screen don't seem to reflect the hours we've poured in. Our financial pockets feel lighter than they ought to, and our dream of financial security feels like a distant mirage in the distance, just out of our reach. When we search for the reason, our minds often jump to the big-ticket items. The culprits, we assume, must be these grand, extravagant purchases. But the truth is, the real thieves are far more subtle, far more insidious. They are the silent saboteurs of our financial well-being. They are cunning, they are masters of disguise. And they're woven into the very fabric of our daily lives, operating in the shadows of our awareness, almost completely invisible to the untrained eye. A coffee here, a takeaway meal there, an impulse buy from a perfectly targeted online advertisement. That subscription service you signed up for with a free trial and forgot to cancel, each one on its own seems harmless, insignificant, a mere drop in the ocean of our monthly budget. But like a slow, persistent leak in the hull of a great ship, these tiny expenditures accumulate. Drop by drop they gather momentum, eroding our savings, dismantling our financial security, and leaving us vulnerable to the slightest economic storm. Before we know it, we are taking on water, struggling to stay afloat. In our journey together, we will pull back the curtain on these financial saboteurs. We will drag them into the spotlight and shine a bright, unflinching light to expose the habits, the mindsets, and the external pressures that are keeping us broke. This is the first step toward taking back control. To understand these habits, we must first understand ourselves. The human mind is a remarkable instrument designed for efficiency. To navigate the world, it creates mental shortcuts or habits to automate routine tasks, freeing up our conscious thought. However, this same system can become a trap. Once a spending behavior is established, it becomes ingrained in our neural pathways. It feels normal, automatic, and eventually almost necessary. It's no longer a conscious decision. It's a ritual. It has become a habit. Our brain, in its quest for efficiency, doesn't do the long-term math. It sees a $6 coffee, not the $1,560 it costs over a working year. It sees a $16 takeaway, not the $1,662 it amounts to if ordered twice a week. This isn't just money spent. It's an opportunity lost. Each small leak isn't just a loss, it's the theft of our future wealth. And our modern world is a master at exploiting this psychological blind spot. It is a minefield of triggers meticulously engineered to activate these spending habits. Limited time offers create a false sense of urgency, triggering our fear of missing out. Supermarkets place tempting items at the checkout, preying on our decision fatigue. It's a constant, sophisticated assault on our willpower. And so the grand vision we hold for our lives begins to blur. The dream of owning a home, of retiring with dignity, recedes further into the distance with each seemingly innocent transaction. The freedom to quit a job we hate, the security of a robust emergency fund, these are the true costs. These silent thieves aren't just stealing our money, they are stealing our options, our peace of mind, and our future. But by understanding their methods, we can begin to take back control of our lives. Why do we cling so tightly to habits that we know are not serving us? The answer often lies in a search for comfort. When we are tired or stressed, the brain defaults to the path of least resistance, seeking a quick dopamine hit. The habit offers immediate relief from discomfort. We start to define ourselves by these habits. The behavior is no longer just something we do, it is part of our personal narrative, and so we remain stuck. The comfort these habits provide acts as a powerful anesthetic, numbing us to their long-term financial consequences. Another powerful reason these habits feel so normal is the pervasive influence of social pressure and the illusion of affluence it creates. This creates a feedback loop where everyone assumes everyone else can afford it, and no one is willing to be the first to admit they cannot. The digital world has amplified this pressure. We subconsciously compare our mundane reality with their public, polished performance. To escape this echo chamber, we must have the confidence and self-awareness to prioritize our own financial goals over the unspoken expectations of our social circle and the greater society. Our minds are not equipped to grasp the cumulative effects of repeated minor expenses over a long period of time. It's a cognitive blind spot, a phenomenon known as present bias, where we instinctively value a small, immediate reward over a much larger one in the future. We must learn to constantly ask ourselves, how much does this cost me over time? That daily $6 coffee feels insignificant, but it's $30 a week over $120 a month. Add a forgotten streaming service and other small expenses, and you can easily find a $100 monthly drain. That becomes a staggering $1,200 annually. Suddenly the number is no longer insignificant. And what does that $1,200 truly represent? It's not just a figure, it's tangible life experience. It could fund a memorable holiday, creating stories that far outlast the fleeting satisfaction of a daily purchase. It could create a robust emergency fund, a financial cushion providing profound peace of mind, shielding you from the anxiety of an unexpected car repair or medical bill. It's the power to weather life's storms without falling into debt. Or it's a direct investment in your greatest asset, yourself. It could pay for a course or a certification, a new skill that improves your earning potential for life. But this calculation only tells half the story. It fails to account for the most powerful factor, the opportunity cost. This isn't just about the money you spent, it's about what that money could have done if it had been invested. This is where we introduce the eighth wonder of the world, compounding. Thanks to this financial magic, where your earnings generate their own earnings, the picture changes dramatically. Imagine a snowball rolling downhill. It starts small, but with each rotation, it picks up more snow, growing bigger and moving faster. Your money works for you, and then the money it earns also starts working for you. Let's apply this to our $1,200 annual saving. Invested with an average 8% annual return, the growth is slow at first. After 10 years, you'd have over $18,000. But then, the snowball effect takes over. After 20 years, it's nearly $60,000. The growth is accelerating exponentially. And after 40 years, you would be sitting on a nest egg of over $250,000. Let that sink in. $250,000. Gone for the sake of a daily cup of coffee and many other small, unnecessary expenses. To make this concept stick, imagine every single dollar you earn is a loyal soldier at your command. Your mission, as their general, is to build an impenetrable fortress of financial security. The enemy is a future of poverty, of being trapped by circumstance. Now view your spending through this lens. That $16 takeaway is a platoon of 16 soldiers ordered to march over a cliff for a moment of convenience. That impulse buy, an entire company sacrificed. Day after day, you are either reinforcing your position or consciously depleting your own forces. This lost army could have been working around the clock, fighting for your financial freedom. Every invested dollar is a soldier that not only builds your fortress, but also recruits new soldiers in the form of interest and returns. They're fighting for your retirement, for your passions, for your freedom of choice. Instead, they were discarded for trinkets. By seeing your money in this way, you, the general, begin to treat it with the respect it deserves. You stop the senseless sacrifice. You start deploying your troops with purpose and strategy, and you begin to build the future you deserve. We've seen how our financial lives are governed by these powerful, often invisible habit loops. They run on autopilot, driving our decisions day in and day out. So how do we take back control and break these deeply ingrained habits, especially when they're leading us away from our goals? The first and most powerful tool is deceptively simple. It is the power of the pause. Think of your brain as having two primary modes of operation. There's the autopilot, governed by a deep, ancient part of the brain called the basal ganglia. This is where habits live. It's incredibly efficient, lightning fast, and requires almost no conscious energy. Then there's the manual control center, your prefrontal cortex. This is the CEO of your brain. It handles complex reasoning, long-term planning, and crucially, impulse control. The problem is, the CEO is lazy. It prefers to let the autopilot run the show to conserve energy. So, let's make this practical. For impulse buys, the 24-hour rule is your new best friend. Instead of just buying something impulsively, create a cooling off list of items. Add the item to the list and wait a full day. The urge, which feels so powerful and urgent in the moment, is often just a fleeting emotion. By the next day, the logical CEO of your brain has had time to assess the situation, and the desire has often vanished completely. During this pause, you're no longer a passive participant in a pre-programmed script. You become an active decision maker. You can ask the right questions. Is this a want or a need? Does this purchase align with my long-term goals? Or is it just satisfying a short-term feeling? You are transforming a mindless routine into a mindful choice. Beyond the pause, a powerful strategy is to become an architect of your own environment. This means deliberately engineering your surroundings to make bad habits more difficult and good habits easier. We call this increasing friction for undesirable behaviors and decreasing it for desirable ones. If you're prone to ordering expensive takeout, don't just rely on willpower. Delete the apps, but then take the next step. Decrease the friction for the good habit. Stock your freezer with delicious, easy-to-prepare meals. Now, the path of least resistance is eating at home, not waiting 45 minutes for a delivery. Curate your digital world to support your financial goals, not sabotage them. Unsubscribe from every single marketing email. Unfollow social media accounts that exist only to sell you a lifestyle you can't afford. At the same time, make saving effortless. Automate it. Set up a transfer to your savings account for the day you get paid. This makes saving the default behavior, the thing that happens without you even thinking about it. You've made the good habit automatic. But perhaps the most effective way to eliminate a bad habit is to replace it with a good one. You can't just eliminate something and leave a vacuum in its place. The key is to diagnose your habits and take accountability for your actions. For a week, become a detective of your own behavior. When you feel the urge to spend, note your emotional state. Are you bored, stressed, lonely, seeking comfort? That 3 p.m. online shopping habit might not be about needing new clothes. It might be about needing a mental break from work. The reward you're seeking is distraction. So, find a new routine to deliver that same reward. Instead of opening a shopping tab, stand up and walk around for 2 minutes, or open a language app, or watch one funny video. The cue, boredom, is the same. The reward, distraction, is the same. But the routine is now constructive and free. When it comes to forging these new, positive habits, your greatest enemy can be ambition. We try to go from zero to hero too fast and end up failing, and then give up entirely. The secret is to start ridiculously small, so small it feels almost laughable. This is the 2-minute rule. Want to start tracking your spending? Don't build a complex budget. Your new habit is, after dinner, I will write down one thing I bought today. That's it. It takes 30 seconds. The goal is to make the routine so easy that it is harder to say no than to just do it. The amount of money saved or the detail of the tracking is irrelevant at first. What you're doing is casting a vote for your new identity. You are becoming the type of person who is mindful of their spending. You're making the act of showing up automatic. Once the behavior is ingrained, you can slowly increase the difficulty. To lock in this new behavior, you must reward the process, not just the outcome. The human brain is wired to repeat actions that lead to immediate pleasure. Waiting 30 years to feel good about your retirement fund is too long a feedback loop. You need a hit of satisfaction. After you complete your tiny habit, grant yourself an immediate, satisfying reward. Listen to a favorite song. Savor a piece of dark chocolate. The satisfaction of seeing an unbroken chain of X's on a calendar is a powerful reward in itself. This isn't about depriving yourself of life's simple pleasures. It's about intentionality. It's about celebrating the laying of each individual brick, not just staring at the distant blueprint of the future. You are rewarding the consistency, which is the true engine of change. If our own habits are the cause of our financial struggles, then logic would dictate that we also hold the power to change them. This belief holds immense power. This journey won't be a straight line. You will slip up and have some setbacks. The old programming is strong. But the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. The rule is never miss twice. If you fall off one day, make it your absolute priority to get back on track the next. This builds resilience. You are not a passive victim of your circumstances or your brain's wiring. You are the architect. You have the blueprint, the tools, and the capacity to deconstruct the bad habits that no longer serve you and build a magnificent fortress of financial strength in their place. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Your task today is not to fix everything at once. It is simply to choose one habit, one small action, and take the first step. Your richer life does not begin when you have paid off all your debt or hit a certain number in your bank account. It begins the moment you decide to take control. The moment you recognize that you are the architect of your own fortune. And the work begins now. Remember, one of the major differences between the haves and the have-nots are the lessons they learn. Please feel free to comment, like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more tips and strategies to help you get your financial house in order. Until next time, be well and take care.